What's up, everybody? It's your boy Reggie Casual, and today we are hauling in a marlin, a big fish in a small pond, so to speak. The billion-dollar sneaker selling behemoth StockX. What is it? Who started it? Who's behind it? How it changed the game? All of that. This is What the Hell is StockX? Ya stato. All right, so StockX. StockX was started by a guy named Josh. A guy named Josh Luber. I kid you not, Josh is a natural risk assessment guy. He used to sell Bubblicious back in 6th grade when he wasn't allowed to. The dude is a hustler. That's what he is. And if he applied his ideas to anything other than selling sneakers, he'd probably still be successful. Because Josh, while working at IBM as a strategy consultant, created the sneaker blue book Campless. You remember that? A guide to assessing the worth of rare sneakers on the general resale market. Josh, the sneakerhead since his youth himself, did Campless on the side and on the weekends, and he eventually pitched the idea that sprung from Campless to several companies. The idea? A stock market for sneakers. It sounds crazy, but it worked, obviously. And nobody listened to him at first until a guy by the name of Dan Gilbert picked up his phone and contacted Josh. Dan Gilbert also happens to be the billion-dollar owner of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I mean, you truly don't know who's benefiting from the things that you use now, do you? Dan Gilbert, like the Dan Gilbert, that guy. By 2015, the stock market of things, or StockX, became a reality, and in only 3 years, the company grew into a billion-dollar behemoth, outpacing its competitors by making the seller and buyer's market for sneakers more intuitive, more technical, and most importantly, easier to buy and sell. The idea was obviously a good one. Obviously, look where we are right now. But why does StockX work so well in this climate? Well, for one, buying and selling sneakers and streetwear is an actual thing that generates millions of dollars every year and a whole bunch of money for ambitious sellers. But also, it works because, as Josh puts it, the stock market has been the backbone of economics for almost 200 years. All we did was take commodities like oil, gas, and gold and change them into sneakers, bags, and streetwear. It's genius. And if you don't know by now, Josh has a way of making you feel like he's saying, like, duh, like, don't you get it? Take it from me, I may have hypothetically met Josh one time, got into a conversation, and hypothetically he was really smart, always pulling up facts and stats at the drop of a dime, and really wants you to say what you need to say at the drop of a dime. He doesn't really waste time, hypothetically. So Josh is a pretty smart guy, hypothetically. But besides having a billion-dollar backer in Dan Gilbert, StockX succeeds because it takes the pressure off both the seller and the buyer with authentication centers that have very high success rates. So high that rep makers have begun to make fake StockX authenticity tags to fool unsuspecting buyers on the free market. Also, StockX doesn't deal with used items, even though they've had some errors in the past. But for all intents and purposes, buying off StockX is gonna get you the genuine new article. And it's by far one of the safest bets when buying on the aftermarket, despite its detractors. But one of StockX's more admirable qualities is reeling in the very volatile market of resale. Not only can fans of a particular sneaker simply wait until a sneaker loses value before purchasing, it also punishes those who make bad investments. The sneakers that never leave the marketplace just sit there. And sneakers without lasting hype will eventually be easier to haggle on pricing. And for sellers, this becomes a game of judging the market, making wise moves, hedging, and sometimes taking losses. It also has introduced an entire generation of millennials and Gen Zers, more specifically, to the prospect of the actual stock market itself, using a commodity that users understand all too well. And this was all due to its fearless execution. Or as Josh says, ideas are useless. Execution is the only thing that matters. i.e., you can have an idea, but if you don't execute it well, then that idea means nothing. You can't be afraid of somebody stealing your idea if you don't plan on doing anything anyway. And he kind of has room to say this. Josh and Gilbert turned StockX into a company that employs about 1,000 people and worth $1 billion. And with the resale market expected to reach $6 billion in the US by the year 2025, it has a lot of room to grow. And let's not forget that this was all achieved in 3 years. And through all its mishaps, of which there are a few, authenticity issues early on, a big security breach scandal that nearly toppled the company, StockX has weathered that storm. Perhaps not gracefully, but nonetheless the company continues to grow with a healthy market in Europe and a tackle in Asia not too far off. But what about Josh? Well, he's taken a back seat from the CEO position and handed it off to Scott Cutler, the same Scott Cutler of StubHub and eBay fame. So StockX is in good hands. Luber now focuses on what he does best, execution of ideas, finding ways to make StockX even more part of the general conversation in the sneaker community, and of course, collecting and talking up sneakers. So, StockX certainly has changed the game and took advantage of the times we live in. How big it gets is totally up to them, but if the market is any indication of things to come, StockX is going to be a big part of the convo for a long time to come. So let us know your opinion on StockX in the comments, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Give a thumbs up if you like this video. Follow on Instagram for the latest out of Japan and beyond, but most importantly, keep it locked right here for all of your info on international street fashion and culture from Tokyo. It's your boy, and keep it casual. Yoroshiku onegai shimasu. And now, Japanese lesson time. All right, so today I'm gonna teach you this, that, that. This, that. Those three words. And the only reason why I'm gonna teach you those is because it can get quite complicated if you don't pay attention. All right, so this in Japanese is kore. Kore. Kore means this, right? That in Japanese is sore. Sore. So this, kore, that, sore, right? But there's one more that in Japanese, and this is where it gets complicated. The last that in Japanese is are. Are. Are, are, are. So what are the differences between kore, sore, and are? Kore is anything that is like in your hand, like something that's really close to you that you could literally like point, like right, like kore. Like if you're looking at a menu, kore, right? You could just keep on saying that, kore, right? And then people will know what you're talking about. Sore, on the other hand, is like that. Like it's not necessarily close to you, maybe somebody else has it. Basically out of your reach, but if you moved a little bit, you can get it. Are means something that is like far away from you. Like you cannot touch it. Like it would take a minute for you to do that thing. Just understand the difference and listen well. There you go. Now you know how to say this, that, and that in Japanese.